Hello all, hope you're doing well today. Today we are continuing our conversation in chapter 2, but we're looking at more of the respiratory system. The respiratory system is the network of organs and tissues that help you breathe. It includes your airways, lungs, and blood vessels. The muscles that power your lungs are also part of the respiratory system. These parts work together to move oxygen throughout the body and clean out waste gases like carbon dioxide. Breathing consists of two phases. The first phase is the inspiration phase. Inspiration allows air to flow into the lungs. The second phase is expiration. Expiration involves gases leaving the lungs. During inspiration, the diaphragm and intercostal muscles contract, allowing air to enter the lungs. During expiration, the inspiration muscles relax, forcing gases to flow out of the lungs. The respiratory system is a vital system in the human body responsible for the exchange of gases, primarily oxygen and carbon dioxide, between the body and the external environment. Its main function is to facilitate the process of respiration, which involves inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. Inspiration refers to the process of inhalation or taking in of air into the lungs. It's a vital component of respiration and is essential for the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the body. And as we talked about a moment ago, expiration, also known as exhalation, refers to the process of breathing out or expelling air from the lungs. It's the second phase of respiration and follows inspiration or inhalation. The respiratory system can be divided into two main components. You have the upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. Other important components of the respiratory system include the lungs, which are the major organs of respiration. They're located in the chest or thoracic cavity and are protected by the rib cage. The lungs contain the bronchial tree, alveoli, and associated blood vessels. The respiratory system also involves the diaphragm, which is a dome-shaped muscle located at the base of the thoracic cavity. It plays a crucial role in breathing by contracting and relaxing, causing changes in the volume of the thoracic cavity and facilitating the movement of air in and out of the lungs. In addition to the primary function of gas exchange, the respiratory system also helps regulate pH balance, filters out harmful substances from the air, and participates in the production of sounds for speech and communication. Overall, the respiratory system is essential for sustaining life by supplying oxygen to the body's cells and removing carbon dioxide, which is a waste product of cellular metabolism. The respiratory system is a complex network of organs and tissues involved in the process of respiration, which is the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the body and the environment. It primarily consists of the following structures. The respiratory system begins with the external nose, which serves as the entrance for air. The nose leads to the nasal cavity, which is lined with mucous membranes and tiny hair-like structure called cilia. These structures help filter, warm, and moisten the inhaled air. The nasal cavity leads to the pharynx, also known as the throat. The pharynx serves as a common pathway for both the respiratory and digestive systems. Below the pharynx lies the larynx, commonly known as the voice box. The larynx contains the vocal cords, which vibrate to produce sound when air passes through them. The larynx is connected to the trachea, a tube-like structure also known as the windpipe. The trachea is lined with cilia and supported by C-shaped cartilage rings, which help it keep it open and prevent its collapse. The trachea branches into the two main bronchi that you can see in the picture here below, one leading to each lung. Inside the lungs, the bronchi divide further into smaller bronchioles, forming a branch network known as the bronchial tree. The bronchioles eventually lead to tiny air sacs called alveoli. The respiratory system contains two lungs located on either side of the chest within the thoracic cavity. The lungs are spongy, cone-shaped organs that house the bronchial tree and alveoli. They are protected by a thin membrane called the pleura and surrounded by the rib cage. The alveoli are small grape-like structures within the lungs where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide occur. They are surrounded by an extensive network of capillaries, allowing for efficient gas exchange between the air and the bloodstream. The diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle located at the base of the thoracic cavity. It plays a crucial role in respiration by contracting and relaxing, causing changes in the volume of the thoracic cavity and facilitating the movement of air in and out of the lungs. These structures work together to enable the process of respiration, including the intake of oxygen and the removal of carbon dioxide from the body. The respiratory system also interacts with other systems, such as the cardiovascular system, to transport oxygen and nutrients throughout the body. Lung volumes refer to the different measurements of air volume in the respiratory system during various phases of respiration. These volumes can be measured using a device called a spirometer. Here are commonly measured lung volumes. Tidal volume represents the amount of air that enters or leaves the lungs during a normal breath at rest. It's typically around 500 milliliters. Respiratory reserve volume is the additional volume of air that can be inhaled forcefully after a normal inhalation. It ranges from about 25 to 3,500 milliliters. The expiratory reserve volume is the additional volume of air that can be forcefully exhaled after a normal exhalation. It ranges from about 1,000 to 1,200 milliliters. And then the residual volume is the volume of air that remains in the lungs even after maximal exhalation. It is necessary to keep the alveoli inflated and prevent lung collapse. It's typically about 1,200 to 1,300 milliliters. Your lung capacity, or total lung capacity, TLC, is the volume of air in the lungs upon the maximum effort of inspiration. Among healthy adults, the average lung capacity is about 6 liters. Age, gender, body composition, and ethnicity are factors affecting the different ranges of lung capacity among individuals. TLC rapidly increases from birth to adolescence and plateaus at about 25 years of age. Males tend to have a greater TLC than females, while individuals with tall stature tend to have greater TLC than those of short stature. And individuals with a high waist to hip ratio generally have a lower TLC. Additional factors that affect an individual's lung capacity include the level of physical activity, any chest wall deformities, and respiratory diseases. Gas exchange is a critical process within the respiratory system that involves the transfer of oxygen from inhaled air to the bloodstream and the removal of carbon dioxide from the bloodstream to be exhaled. This exchange takes place in the alveoli, which are tiny air sacs located in the lungs. The process of gas exchange occurs through the following steps. The first step in gas exchange is the movement of air into and out of the lungs. This is achieved through the process of pulmonary ventilation, which includes inspiration and expiration. During inspiration, air rich in oxygen is drawn into the lungs, while during expiration, air containing carbon dioxide is expelled from the lungs. After inhalation, the inhaled air travels through the airways and reaches the alveoli. Within the alveoli, gas exchange takes place through the process of diffusion. Diffusion is the movement of the molecules from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration. In this case, oxygen molecules move from the alveoli, where their concentration is higher, to the bloodstream, where their concentration is lower. At the same time, carbon dioxide molecules move from the bloodstream, where the concentration is higher, to the alveoli, where the concentration is lower. Once oxygen diffuses into the bloodstream, it binds to hemoglobin, a protein found in red blood cells. Hemoglobin acts as a carrier molecule, allowing oxygen to be transported efficiently through the bloodstream to the body's tissues and organs. Carbon dioxide, produced as a waste product of cellular metabolism, dissolves in the blood and is transported in three forms: It's dissolved in plasma, bound to hemoglobin, or as a bicarbonate ion, HCO3, in the plasma. The majority of carbon dioxide is transported as bicarbonate ions, which are formed when carbon dioxide combines with water in the presence of an enzyme called carbonic anhydrase. Once oxygen-rich blood reaches the capillaries surrounding the body's tissues and organs, another round of gas exchange occurs. Oxygen diffuses from the capillaries into the cells, while carbon dioxide diffuses from the cells into the capillaries. The carbon dioxide-rich blood is then transported back to the lungs for elimination during expiration. This continuous process of gas exchange ensures the gas oxygen is supplied to the body's tissues for cellular respiration, where it is used to generate energy, while carbon dioxide, a waste product, is efficiently removed from the body. The respiratory and circulatory systems work together to facilitate this exchange and maintain proper oxygen and carbon dioxide levels within the body. Oxygen is taken up in the lungs and is carried around the body by the blood until it is released at the exercising tissues. Oxygen uptake can be measured by gas analysis of the oxygen content of the inspired air versus the oxygen content of expired air. The Fick principle states that the uptake or release of oxygen by a tissue is the product of the amount of oxygen delivered to the tissue times the difference in oxygen content between the blood entering and leaving the tissue. VO2 max measures how much oxygen, usually in milliliters, you breathe in while exercising as hard as you can. The more oxygen you inhale, the more energy your body can produce. Higher VO2 max usually means better physical fitness. The absolute VO2 max is simply the amount of oxygen you breathe in liters per minute. This amount depends on your age, weight, height, and gender. Relative VO2 max measures your weight in liters per minute per kilogram of body weight. Relative VO2 max is better for comparing different people's fitness levels against each other. Maximal oxygen uptake, often referred to as VO2 max, is a measure of an individual's maximum capacity to take in, transport, and utilize oxygen during intense exercise. It represents the highest rate at which oxygen can be consumed by the body and is considered a key indicator of aerobic fitness and endurance capacity. VO2 max is influenced by various factors, including genetics, age, sex, body composition, and training status. It is typically expressed as milliliters of oxygen per kilogram of body weight per minute, or ml divided by K divided by minutes, to account for individual differences in body size. The measurement of VO2 max is typically performed through direct or indirect exercise testing. Direct measurement involves the collection and analysis of expired gases during maximal exercise using specialized equipment such as a metabolic cart. This method provides the most accurate assessment of VO2 max, but requires sophisticated equipment and expertise. Indirect measurement methods such as submaximal exercise tests or prediction equations are more commonly used in clinical and field settings. These methods can estimate VO2 max based on submaximal exercise performance, heart rate response, and other physiological variables. While they may be less accurate than direct measurement, they provide a practical way to estimate an individual's aerobic capacity. VO2 max values can vary among individuals, ranging from around 15 to 80 milliliters per kilogram per minute. Elite endurance athletes, such as distance runners and cyclists, often have high VO2 max values due to their extensive training and genetic predisposition. However, VO2 max can be improved with regular aerobic exercise training as the cardiorespiratory system adapts to meet the increased demands for oxygen. Increasing VO2 max involves engaging in regular cardiovascular exercise, such as running, cycling, swimming, or any activity that elevates heart rate and increases oxygen consumption. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT, and long-duration, moderate-intensity continuous training are effective methods for improving aerobic fitness and increasing VO2 max. It's important to note that while VO2 max is a valuable indicator of aerobic fitness, it is not the sole determinant of athletic performance. Other factors such as lactate threshold, running economy, and biomechanics also play significant roles in endurance performance. Proper recovery is essential for optimizing VO2 max. This includes adequate sleep, adequate active recovery techniques such as low intensity exercise or foam rolling, and sufficient rest days to allow for muscle repair and adaptation. Additionally, incorporating strategies like stretching, massage, and cold water immersion may help reduce muscle soreness and enhance recovery. There are several nutritional factors that can influence the improvement of VO2 max as well. While the cardiovascular and pulmonary systems work together to transport oxygen and nutrients throughout the body, the primary role of the cardiovascular system is to deliver oxygenated blood and nutrients, while the pulmonary system is responsible for gas exchange. The cardiovascular system, which includes the heart, blood vessels, and lung and blood, is responsible for pumping oxygenated blood from the lungs to the body's tissues and organs. It also transports nutrients, hormones, and other essential substances required for cellular function and growth. The pulmonary system consists of the lungs and associated airways, and it's responsible for the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the air and the bloodstream. During inhalation, oxygen from the inhaled air diffuses across thin membranes of the alveoli or air sacs into the bloodstream. Simultaneously, carbon dioxide, a waste product of cellular metabolism, diffuses from the bloodstream into the alveoli to be exhaled. Once oxygen is transported by the cardiovascular system to the body's tissues and organs, it is utilized in cellular respiration to generate energy. Nutrients such as glucose and fatty acids obtained from the diet are also transported by the cardiovascular system to provide fuel for cellular metabolism. These nutrients are delivered to the cells through the bloodstream, where they undergo various biochemical processes to produce ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, the energy currency of the cells. In summary, the cardiovascular system provides a means to deliver oxygen, nutrients, and other essential substances to the body's tissues and organs, while the pulmonary system facilitates the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the air and the bloodstream. Together, these systems work in concert to ensure the delivery of nutrients and oxygen to the cells, supporting their metabolic functions and overall health. And these are my references. That's all I have for today. I look forward to talking with you again. Have a great day.